Teresa Hall. Welcome to Roanoke County Today, a monthly half-hour program highlighting news, events, and programs in our community. Coming up on this month's show, we'll tell you about a free home improvement program for qualifying citizens in one Vinton neighborhood. Plus, have you ever considered a career in law enforcement? The Roanoke County Police Department is currently recruiting. We'll have all those details plus much more. Hope you'll stay with us.
Help Roanoke County Public Library prepare for its semi-annual book sale by donating your gently used books, children's books, audiobooks, and CDs. Book sales are hosted by Friends of the Library, with proceeds helping to underwrite programs, services, and facility enhancements at libraries throughout Roanoke County. Donation receipts are available upon request. Drop your donated books off at the headquarters library or your nearest branch library. For hours and branch library locations in Hollins, Glenver, Mount Pleasant, and Bent Mountain, visit yourlibrary.us or call 772-7507.
Roanoke County, the town of Vinton, and TAP are working together to give an opportunity for home improvements to a group of citizens. Consuela Caudle is the town's economic development director and has been working on this project for quite some time now. This is fantastic news, Consuela.
Yes, we are very excited about this and are ready to roll it out to our community and our citizens to help them have some home improvements.
Basically, I guess you, the county, and TAP are recipients of some stimulus, federal stimulus money to make this project a possibility.
That's correct. TAP applied for the stimulus funds with some of the programs that they already have in place, and because the stimulus funds are earmarked for a certain segment of our population, they came to Roanoke County and the town of Vinton to be able to offer those to the citizens to help them with some energy efficiency home improvements.
And how much money was the town awarded?
$475,000.
Fantastic. And it's going to be used in a particular area, actually where the community where we're standing, correct? Can you describe this area?
That's correct. This is our Midway community, and it's in the town of Vinton. It borders the city of Roanoke, and it comprises roughly about 4 or 5 blocks in this community, and we're very excited and hope that the citizens will want to participate in the program with TAP and the Roanoke County and the town of Vinton.
Now, for citizens who qualify, take us through that. You need to give the town a call. Is that your first step, or TAP? Talk us through that.
Actually, what we're going to do is have a community meeting here in the community at one of the local churches, and we hope that citizens will come out to find out more about the program. TAP will have folks coming door to door to let them know about how to get involved, and then they will have to apply to TAP's regular weatherization program, get accepted for that, and then they would be eligible to receive these additional funds.
Now, are these funds money that needs to be paid back?
They're not monies that need to be paid back. However, the folks will need to sign an agreement that they will remain in their homes for a particular amount of time so that we can ensure that they are getting the most benefit from the grant funds.
Tell us about some of the weatherization projects.
Weatherization will involve things that will make their home energy efficient, such as window replacements, it may be roofing replacements, and it may be some other things as far as caulking and things like that. So just general things that homeowners will do to make sure that they're not losing any energy in their homes. And then the additional part is the CERC project, which is Sustainable Energy Resources for Consumers, and that's really the great part where we're using those new technologies to allow them to have some energy efficiency savings.
And so you're going to actually be going door to door. Is that going to be one of the first steps to try to get word out about this program?
Yes, that's correct. We will be working with TAP and having someone come out to the community with a brochure to let all of the homeowners know about the program and about the meeting that we'll be having in the next couple of weeks.
Is there a maximum amount of money that you can get?
The maximum amount is $30,000 worth of improvements to any particular one home. However, we anticipate that on average it'll be about $12,000 of improvements to each home that participates.
You know, just in thinking about this program, home improvements are so hard to come by because the economy is so tough right now. Just having this opportunity it's just fantastic.
Yeah, we're really excited about this, and like you said, the economy, folks have really been watching their dollars and pennies and maybe not been able to put money into their homes like they wanted to. And hopefully what this will do is not only give them the opportunity to have those things done to their home that may have been neglected for a while, but also then maybe put some money back in their pockets through the energy savings that they might realize.
Well, some folks who are watching may have availability to log online, go to the Town of Vinton's website. Are you going to have some information up there?
Yes, we will have a website that will be dedicated to this project. It kind of will be more of a portal, so it'll just be some information, and they can get the meeting times and a copy of the brochure if they don't happen to be home when someone's there, and find out about it on our website, which is www.vintonva.gov/ECONDEVL.
All right, and a phone number?
My phone number, they can reach me, is 540-343-1508.
This has been just a great segment, Consuela. Thank you so much for sharing this information with us and for making this a reality for some homeowners here in the town of Vinton.
Well, thank you, and we really thank Roanoke County for letting us have this opportunity, and for TAP also for applying for the funds and being so successful in thinking of us and our citizens.
Absolutely. Thank you. And stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
The Town of Vinton's new website has it all. Click on the town calendar to find out what's happening every day of the week, report a concern, and make a request with Request Tracker. Stay informed with Newsflash. Pay bills online and access the Archive Center for meeting minutes, agendas, and budgets. Keep in touch with Vinton with one click on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, right from the homepage, and much more. VintonVA.gov is your connection to the town of Vinton.
On April 26th, Roanoke County held a public hearing on the proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year that begins July 1. Brent Robertson is Roanoke County's Management and Budget Director and has been involved in this process throughout, and it's here now to provide us with an update on what we can expect next. Thank you, Brent.
Oh, you're welcome.
After you have your public hearing, what is the next couple of steps before you get an actual vote, a final vote on the budget for next year?
Well, really, we're down to just the last few steps of the budget process this year. We will ask the Board of Supervisors to approve the first and second reading of the ordinances, which will happen the first and second meeting in May. And then the final meeting in May, we will have them adopt the resolution, which is the final action by the board to make the budget final for next year.
I think in a lot of the meetings that we've had, work sessions per se with the board, it's always been described that this budget that we've got before us now is a maintenance budget. What do we mean by that?
Well, there's not really been, because of our financial situation and the overall fiscal environment, there's not really any enhancements to any services, certainly not any new services. So it's been pretty much a hanging on budget to try to maintain the services that we've had in place. As a matter of fact, that was one of the guidelines the Board of Supervisors gave us, is to not have any direct impact to the citizen services, and we were able to maintain that, but very little new or enhancement to services.
So you're not really going to see any new programs, but you also were able to avoid layoff of employees as well, and the budget includes some vacant positions too.
Yes, we were able to go back through and through attrition and reduce some costs through the elimination of some positions that were open at that point, and some other savings measures that we put in place. And so once again, there were a couple of new positions in the budget, but that was just related to the opening of the new South County Headquarters Library that the board did approve several years ago, and it's just finally going to be coming to an opening point this next budget year.
Well, that brings a question to my mind, and may to folks watching as well. While you've got no new programs, we will have a new library opening, South County Library opening this fall. How is that possible?
Well, as I said before, the board went through a capital planning process a number of years ago, and they came up with a handful of projects that's basically been about 3 years in implementation. And the Roanoke County Library, the new Roanoke County Headquarters Library, is the final project of that capital plan that was implemented, that began about 3 years ago. So it's just finally coming to fruition at the fall of next budget year.
That's correct. A couple of things that I noticed that were somewhat different with this budget over prior years. One, more money was included for building maintenance, and also additional money set aside to deal with the rising price of fuel.
Yes.
Because we have a pretty large fleet.
Right.
If you consider fire trucks, ambulances, trash trucks, social service vehicles, and with the price of fuel, it's pretty scary for a lot of people.
Yes, I think that goes back once again to that maintenance budget. Those fuel for our vehicles and having our buildings being operational is absolutely basic in the maintaining of those services. So we were very fortunate in being able to allocate some additional funds in those areas.
A part of the budget process, something that I've learned while being here with the county, is that it takes many months to put together a budget, and it also takes a lot of research. Something that may surprise people is that you and your staff have to research and determine how revenues are going to be looking in the following year. By revenues, I mean look at do research that tells you what's meals tax going to be like, personal property, real estate taxes, and kind of read a lot of information and then take that and put it down on a local level and project what you think it's going to be next year.
Right. And in this environment, it's been probably the most difficult period in the 20-some years I've been doing this. A lot of instability in the financial markets. I mean, we're all aware of the general economic conditions, not just in the United States, but in the world. And we are a global economy, so what affects the world affects Roanoke County. So it is very difficult because what the revenues that we are projecting right now are really for as far as 15 to 16 months from now as we get to July of 2012.
I think the county administrator, when he's spoken about this budget to the board members and to staff, Mr. Goodman has always said, we are so blessed, we're very fortunate. Why does he say that in terms of our budget? I mean, you don't hear a lot about us, and I think that Mr. Goodman was kind of addressing that as well.
Well, I think one of the first things that come to my mind is the relationship that staff and the Board of Supervisors have with each other, in that we work through these difficulties and these issues. For example, in this budget process, we've been working with the board since last fall. So there's a lot of work that goes on, a lot of discussion that happen. A lot of times, the citizens may not see that, but these go on in our work sessions, in the board meetings themselves, and it's something that I value very highly, and a good working relationship with that board.
And also some reserves that we, over the last 3 years, have been able to tap into, as well as some cuts that for the past 3 years departments have also absorbed. So we've had some trims and some cuts, but we fared very well, I think.
Right. Yeah, as I said, we've used some reserves. We've gotten in a little to the health insurance reserves to cover some of the health insurance costs. We have reduced departmental operating budgets for 3 years in a row. We're fortunate that we did not have to reduce their budgets this year, but they have experienced reductions in their operations the last 3 years. And once again, we've eliminated positions over this same 3-year period through attrition. So we have been fortunate, but it has not been easy.
That is very true. Well, if folks watching would like to take a look at the proposed budget, which will be voted on May 24th by the Board of Supervisors, visit Brent's webpage, which is RoanokeCountyVA.gov/budget info, and all the information is there.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome,
Thanks
Teresa.
for the openness.
Oh, thank you.
And stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Character Academy is the camp that we do every year around this time. It's for kids who are rising 5th through 7th graders, and it's a chance for them to come and first of all learn about the fire department, to kind of explore some careers in the fire department, see what a firefighter does during the day. They get to get up close and personal with the fire trucks, but we also try to teach them very important character lessons, things like trustworthiness and citizenship and respect and teamwork that they're going to need all throughout their lives, no matter what career path they choose. The dates for Character Academy are July 6, 7, and 8. That's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This idea actually came from Gary Huffman, our fire marshal, who started this camp about 7 or 8 years ago. It has grown almost each year from just a day camp that was at the fire department to now we're at 3 days and 2 nights, and we're out at Camp Roanoke. We have partners with Camp Roanoke, and other county departments as well. The neat thing about Character Academy now that we've grown is they not only get to do the fire department stuff and learn about character, but they also get typical summertime camp activities like canoeing and archery and ropes course, and they get to spend the night at the camp in a cabin and have camp counselors. So they get up in the morning, they're going to eat a wonderful breakfast at Camp Roanoke, they're going to do some game activities during the morning, and then usually we pick up, the fire department does, we do some character lessons, and then we do some sort of fire department activity. They'll learn some aspect of the fire department, and then in the afternoon they're back again to swimming and canoeing and ropes course and those kinds of things. This is open to anybody, not just Roanoke County residents. So this is open to anybody who wants to come. Primarily we're shooting for rising 5th through 7th graders, so that would be currently a 4th through a 6th grader, anybody who's going into the 5th or 7th grader next year. To sign up for this, you need to call Camp Roanoke at 387-6114, and Greg Martin and his staff at Camp Roanoke will be happy to get you all the paperwork that you need to sign up. It's a $50 fee, which is really a bargain for 3 days and 2 nights. I get wonderful feedback from Character Academy. It's not only from the kids who participate and their parents, but from other departments who want to partner with us and things like that as well. But the kids love it. Registration's only been open a few weeks already, and we've already got about 16 kids that have signed up to come. I get repeat customers, parents who come looking for it, come asking me when registration is going to open and things like that. So we do get a lot of positive feedback from it as well.
If you've ever thought about a career in law enforcement, then you'll want to stick around for this next segment. The Roanoke County Police Department is currently accepting applications for the next academy. And here to talk about the application process and the academy, I'm joined by Lieutenant David McMillan and Officer Jessica Vasquez. Thanks to both of you for talking about the academy experience, the application process, and just sharing your story with us.
Good to be here.
Let's start with you, Lieutenant. What does it take, what should you consider before logging on to the county's website to find out about the application process?
Well, certain things they need to be aware of is there's a minimum age requirement for employment with us as a police officer, and that's 21 years old. You have to have at least a high school diploma. We would prefer some college, but it is, or GED equivalent. We accept GED equivalent.
So this is for both men and women?
Yes.
And is the process a quick process? I mean, once you go online and you fill out the application, how long does it take to hear something back?
Well, you'll hear something back probably within 3 weeks of filing your application, and you'll be notified of a testing date. We require a written test and what we call the physical agility test. And you'll be given a day or two to pick from to come in and take the written test and of course the physical agility. Then after that, there's some paperwork you have to complete. We call it a personal history statement. It's probably the most arduous part of the process because we ask you some questions that really pick your brain about where you live in the past 10, 15 years, so things like that.
What is that whole process for? Do you just try to get to know that applicant better?
Right. It's the way we get to know who we're about to maybe offer a job to.
Right.
And we use it, our background investigators use it to conduct a pre-employment background. And we make sure by the information you provide us and then of course the background investigation that we know who we're hiring.
Well, one conversation that I had with you one time really sort of shed a different light on what it's like to be a police officer, and that's when you talked about how there is so much trust that is placed in that person who's out on the road or who's doing investigations. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, you can meet all of the criteria, but really it's got to be about the person themselves as well.
Right. Any police department wants to be able to put the individual with a badge and a gun in a patrol car out in the community that everybody can trust. The integrity, the character, courage, the confidence to get the job done, the good judgment. Because the officer, I don't think people really think about it much, but an individual police officer goes to court, takes the stand, swears an oath, and then the judge takes civil liberties away from people based on what the officer testifies to as the truth. And that's a big thing when you have your civil liberties taken away from you.
Absolutely. Well, Officer Vasquez, what was it about law enforcement that drew you to this career?
You know, ever since I was little, I always wanted to help people, especially kids and juveniles, and always felt that if I could be a part of that, then, you know, I would love to be that, and that's what led me to the police department.
So making a difference, giving back to the community.
Yes.
A big part of that?
Yes, absolutely.
We talked a little about the application process and the academy. We just touched on it a bit. Talk about how long was the academy when you went through, and what sorts of things did you go through in that process?
I believe the academy was 6 months. I hope that's correct. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember. It's been a little bit. The process was tedious, and you know, you had to be very determined, and you really have to want to do this job to get through it.
Lieutenant, is the academy designed to find out if you are, to put you through everything you need to go through to make you ready to go out on the road? Because when you go out on the road, there's no turning back. You've got to have all those skills.
It's all the laws and legal part of being a police officer. It's the officer safety. It's how to handle the calls, how to take care of yourself, and how to deal with just about any situation you may come up against.
Officer Vasquez, is this a rewarding career for you?
Absolutely. Every time that I can, you know, go to a call and help someone that's potentially in a domestic situation or children, or, you know, it makes a difference, and it makes you feel good when you go home.
Do you try to particularly tell your story to other female candidates?
Absolutely,
friends,
absolutely.
Perhaps?
Because we have a little different perspective out there. You know, as a female officer, you can get into a situation and we're able to talk our situations down. And there's some male officers that can do that as well. But it's you know, it's a little bit better when you have, you know, that female in there. So.
Well, for people who are watching, Lieutenant, and you may think, well, I don't meet all of those criteria. Should you just figure, there's no way, I'm just not going to apply? Or do you encourage those people, give it a chance, go through the process?
I would encourage them to go through the process. If they have the desire to do something for the public good or community service, and police work is something that they keep thinking about, I would encourage them to come through the process, apply, come through the process, get into the academy, give the academy 100%, and I think they'll find that by the end of the academy that they'll have that confidence to do police work.
All right. Well, this segment's going to be running through the month of May. Is that the application process? Does it end at a particular date, or do you just keep it open and running throughout the year?
It's currently set to end on May 29th.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you'd like to end with about your own career in law enforcement? Anything to wrap up with, to share with the people who are watching?
It's very rewarding. You know, there's a good sense of hope, especially in bad situations. Unfortunately, as a police officer, we usually see the worst in people. So it's very rewarding when you can help someone and make a difference.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you can say you've impacted someone's life.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. Well, Lieutenant McMillan, Officer Vasquez, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And stay with us. We'll be right back. That's all for this month's edition of Roanoke County Today. Thanks so much for joining us. And remember, if you need more information on Roanoke County events and programs, please visit our website at roanokecountyva.gov. Hope to see you again next month.
I want to welcome everyone to our Arbor Day ceremony today. Anytime I get to come and visit the school where Danny Gard is the head of, I have a good feeling inside. It's always a fun time. Mr. Gard and I, we've known each other more than a few years, and I want you to stay here. I'm going to present this proclamation to you, but I want to ask you, everybody who's really happy to be outside and not in school, raise your hand right now, would you? All right. Let's give everybody a hand for being outside on a beautiful weather day. From the County of Roanoke, the proclamation declaring April 21st, 2011 is National Arbor Day in the County of Roanoke. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas in 2011 is the 139th anniversary of Arbor Day, which is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and will be celebrated in Roanoke County on Thursday, April 21st, 2011. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our county increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Joseph B. Butch Church, Chairman on behalf of the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim April 21st, 2011 as National Arbor Day in Roanoke County. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, we urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here today.
And the Lorax came back and he said, you know, trees don't have tongues, so I need to speak for the trees. And he said, let them grow, let them grow. So you're going to let these trees grow as you get older and older. So since our trees don't have tongues, can you help me just say, let them grow, let them grow? When on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Let them grow, let them grow. And as you get older, you're going to see them grow. So remember this day for a long time.
Trees have trunks, trunks. Trees have limbs, limbs. Trees have needles, needles. What else do trees have? Bark, bark, into from. What's your favorite tree? Dogwood! What's your favorite tree? Spruce!
I know it's going to be heavy catch. You know what Ranger Bob likes to do? He likes to get his hands.